Hello, everyone, and welcome to our channel. Learning English here is easy and fun. I'm Emma, and today we're together for another special conversation.
Hi, Emma. Hello, listeners. It's great to be here. I'm excited about our topic today.
Before we start, remember to subscribe to the channel, click the like button, and share the podcast with your friends. It really helps us a lot.
It really does help. And now, Emma, what's our topic today?
How to talk about your daily routine in English.
This topic is extremely important in various situations, like job interviews, casual conversations with coworkers, or when making new friends abroad.
That's absolutely right. Many times we want to explain what we do every day, but we don't know the right words or phrases to use naturally.
Today, we're going to make this process simple and enjoyable. We'll explore common daily activities, useful vocabulary, and realistic examples you can use immediately.
Perfect. And we'll also discuss some common mistakes learners make when talking about routines, so you can avoid them and sound more confident.
Let's start with the fundamentals. When someone asks about your daily routine, they usually want to know what time you wake up, what you do during the day, and how you spend your evenings.
Exactly. These questions come up all the time in real conversations. You might hear things like, "What time do you usually wake up?" or "What do you do after work?"
And it's not just about listing activities, it's also about using the right time expressions and connecting your ideas smoothly, so your answer sounds natural and interesting.
Let me give you an example. Instead of saying, "I wake up, I eat breakfast, I go to work," you can say, "I usually wake up around 7, have a quick breakfast, and then head to work."
That sounds much more natural. Notice how Emma used words like usually and around to make it less rigid and more conversational.
Right, and those little words make a huge difference. They show that you're not a robot following the exact same schedule every single day.
Another important aspect is talking about your profession or occupation as part of your routine. For instance, I could say, I'm an English teacher, so my mornings are usually spent preparing lessons and reviewing materials.
That's a great example because it connects what you do with why you do it. It gives context and makes the conversation more meaningful and engaging.
Emma, can you tell us about your typical morning routine?
Of course, I usually wake up at 6:30 in the morning because I'm an early bird. The first thing I do is check my phone for any urgent messages.
That's interesting. Do you have breakfast right away, or do you do something else first?
Actually, I like to take a quick shower before breakfast. It helps me wake up completely and feel refreshed for the day ahead.
I understand that feeling. So what do you typically have for breakfast?
I'm pretty simple when it comes to breakfast. I usually have toast with butter and jam, plus a cup of coffee. Sometimes I add some fresh fruit if I have time.
Sounds delicious and healthy. How long does your morning routine usually take, from the moment you wake up until you leave home?
I'd say about an hour and a half. I don't like rushing in the morning because it stresses me out for the rest of the day.
That makes perfect sense. Taking your time in the morning definitely sets a positive tone for everything that follows.
Emma, can you tell us what your workday looks like? I know you're an English teacher, so I imagine every day is quite different.
You're absolutely right. My schedule varies depending on the day, but I usually start working around 9 in the morning at a language school in Manchester.
What's the first thing you do when you arrive at work?
Well, I usually go to the teacher's room first to grab a coffee and chat with my colleagues for a few minutes before classes begin.
That sounds like a nice way to start the workday. How many classes do you typically teach each day?
It depends, but usually I have about 4 or 5 classes. Each class is 50 minutes long with short breaks in between for preparation.
Do you have a lunch break, and what do you usually do during that time?
Yes, I have an hour for lunch. Sometimes I eat at the school cafeteria with other teachers, and sometimes I go to a nearby cafe if the weather is nice.
That sounds great. That variety sounds great. It must help break up the day and prevent it from feeling too monotonous or repetitive.
Exactly, and during my breaks, I often prepare materials for upcoming lessons or grade assignments from previous classes.
It sounds like you stay quite busy throughout the day. What time do you usually finish work?
I typically finish around 5 or 6 in the evening, depending on whether I have any extra meetings or student consultations scheduled.
Emma, now let's talk about what happens after work. Tom, what do you usually do in the evenings after you finish teaching?
Good question. After work, I usually go home and relax for about 30 minutes just to decompress from the day's activities.
I think that's really important. Everyone needs that transition time between work and personal life to mentally switch gears.
Absolutely. And then I usually prepare dinner. I enjoy cooking, so I try to make something different each night rather than eating the same thing repeatedly.
That's impressive. Do you follow recipes or do you just experiment with whatever ingredients you have available?
A bit of both, actually. Sometimes I follow recipes I find online, especially if I'm trying a new cuisine, but other times I just improvise.
I love that approach. Cooking can be so creative and relaxing at the same time. What do you do after dinner?
Well, a few nights a week, I play football with friends. On other evenings, I might watch a movie, read a book, or practice my guitar.
You play guitar? That's fantastic. How long have you been playing?
About 5 years now. I'm not a professional by any means, but I really enjoy it as a hobby and stress reliever after busy days.
Music is such a wonderful way to unwind. I paint in the evenings for similar reasons. It helps me disconnect from daily stress and express myself creatively.
Let's shift to talking about weekends. Emma, how does your weekend routine differ from your weekday schedule?
Oh, weekends are completely different for me. I don't set an alarm, so I usually sleep in until around 9 or even 10 o'clock sometimes.
That sounds wonderful. I think many people would agree that sleeping in is one of the best parts of the weekend.
Definitely. After waking up, I take my time having a leisurely breakfast. I might make pancakes or scrambled eggs instead of just quick toast.
That sounds much more relaxed than the rushed weekday breakfast. What else do you typically do on weekends?
Saturday mornings, I usually go to the local market to buy fresh vegetables and fruits. I find it more enjoyable than shopping at supermarkets during the week.
I agree completely. Markets have such a nice atmosphere, and you can often find better quality produce while supporting local farmers.
Exactly. In the afternoons, I usually spend time painting in my small studio space at home. It's my favorite hobby and my main creative outlet.
Do you paint specific subjects, or does it depend on your mood and inspiration at the time?
It really depends on how I'm feeling. Sometimes I paint landscapes inspired by nature, and other times I create more abstract pieces using bright colors.
That variety must keep it interesting and prevent creative burnout. Do you ever display or sell your artwork?
Occasionally, I've sold a few pieces to friends and family, and I'm hoping to have a small exhibition at a local gallery next year.
Social activities are an important part of everyone's routine. Emma, how often do you see friends, and what do you usually do together?
I try to see friends at least once or twice a week. During the week, we might just grab coffee or have a quick dinner together after work.
And what about weekends? Do you have any regular social plans or activities with your friends?
Yes, on Saturday evenings, I often go out with friends to restaurants, bars, or sometimes we attend concerts or theater performances if something interesting is happening.
That sounds like a great balance between casual hangouts and more special cultural experiences. Do you prefer small gatherings or larger social events?
Honestly, I prefer small groups of 3 to 5 people. Large parties can be overwhelming, and it's harder to have meaningful conversations with everyone.
I completely understand. In smaller groups, you can really connect with people and have deeper discussions rather than just surface level small talk.
Exactly. What about you, Tom? How do you maintain friendships while managing your busy teaching schedule?
It can be challenging, but I make it a priority. I meet up with close friends on Sunday brunch almost every week, which has become our tradition.
That's lovely. Having regular traditions with friends really strengthens relationships and gives everyone something to look forward to.
Absolutely. And as I mentioned earlier, I play football with friends a few times a week, which combines exercise with socializing perfectly.
Let's be honest, not every day goes according to plan. Tom, can you share some challenges you face in your daily routine and how you handle them?
Of course. One common challenge is when my alarm doesn't go off or I accidentally sleep through it, which throws off my entire morning schedule.
Oh, that's the worst. How do you manage when that happens and you're running late?
I've learned to have a backup plan. I keep emergency breakfast bars in my bag, and I always prepare my work materials the night before, so I'm not scrambling.
That's smart planning. What about unexpected situations during your workday?
Sometimes a student might need extra help or a meeting runs longer than expected. In those cases, I try to stay flexible and adjust my afternoon schedule accordingly.
Flexibility is definitely key. I face similar challenges as a student when assignments pile up or unexpected projects are assigned with short deadlines.
How do you handle those stressful situations without burning out or becoming overwhelmed?
I've learned to prioritize tasks based on urgency and importance. I make a simple to-do list each morning and tackle the most critical items first.
That's an excellent strategy. Breaking things down into manageable steps makes everything feel less overwhelming and more achievable.
Right. And I also remind myself that it's okay to say no sometimes or ask for help when I'm genuinely overloaded.
Health routines are becoming increasingly important in modern life. Emma, do you incorporate any specific wellness activities into your daily schedule?
I do. I try to go for a 30-minute walk every evening after dinner. It helps me digest my food and clear my mind before bed.
Walking is such an underrated form of exercise. It's gentle on your body, but still provides great physical and mental health benefits.
Exactly. I also practice yoga for about 20 minutes every morning before breakfast. It helps me start the day feeling centered and calm.
That's wonderful. I know yoga requires discipline to practice regularly. How did you develop that habit?
It took time, honestly. I started with just 5 minutes a day and gradually increased the duration as it became part of my routine.
That's the best approach, starting small and building gradually rather than trying to make massive changes overnight that you can't sustain.
Right. And I also remind myself that it's okay to say no sometimes or ask for help when I'm genuinely overloaded.
What about you, Tom? Besides playing football, do you have any other health or fitness routines? I try to go to the gym 3 times a week, usually on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings before work starts.
That's impressive dedication. Do you follow a specific workout program or do you just go with the flow?
I follow a basic strength training program that targets different muscle groups each session. Nothing too intense, just enough to stay healthy and strong.
Consistency is more important than intensity anyway. Regular, moderate exercise is better than occasional extreme workouts that leave you exhausted and injured.
Let's talk about how we prepare for sleep, which is just as important as morning routines. Emma, what's your typical evening wind-down routine?
I start preparing for bed around 10 o'clock. First, I turn off all screens, my phone, computer, and television to give my brain time to relax.
That's really important. The blue light from screens can interfere with natural sleep hormones and make it harder to fall asleep quickly.
Exactly. Then I usually take a warm bath with some lavender bath salts. It's incredibly relaxing and helps release any tension from the day.
That sounds heavenly. Do you have any other bedtime rituals or habits?
Yes, I like to read for about 20 or 30 minutes in bed. I always choose fiction rather than work-related or stressful content before sleep.
Reading is such a peaceful way to transition into sleep. What time do you usually fall asleep?
I'm usually asleep by 11 or 11:30 at the latest. I need at least 7 hours of sleep to function well the next day.
Sleep is so crucial for overall health and performance. I have a similar routine. I try to be in bed by 10:30 most nights.
Do you read before bed too, or do you have different relaxation techniques?
I usually listen to calm instrumental music or nature sounds. It helps quiet my mind, especially after particularly busy or stressful days.
That's a great idea. Music can be incredibly soothing and create the perfect atmosphere for peaceful sleep.
Now, we want to hear from you, our wonderful listeners and viewers. We'd love to know about your daily routines.
Use the comments section below to write about one part of your routine in English. It could be your morning routine, your work schedule, or your evening activities.
Don't worry about making it perfect. The important thing is to practice writing and sharing in English. We read all the comments.
And here's a tip. Start with simple sentences and then try to connect them using words like then, after that, usually, or sometimes.
For example, you could write, I usually wake up at 7. Then I have breakfast and check my emails. After that, I go to work.
See how easy that is? You don't need complicated grammar or fancy vocabulary to describe your routine clearly and naturally.
If you're feeling brave, you could also tell us one thing you'd like to change about your routine and why.
That's a great conversation starter. Maybe you want to wake up earlier, exercise more regularly, or spend less time on social media.
Remember, talking about routines is one of the most common topics in English conversations, so practicing this will definitely improve your fluency.
One more thing, smile while you're writing or speaking. It might sound silly, but it actually affects your tone and makes you sound more positive and confident.
Let's recap what we've covered today. We discussed how to talk about morning routines, including waking up, having breakfast, and preparing for work or study.
We explored work and study schedules, showing how to describe your typical workday using natural time expressions and connecting words.
We talked about evening activities and hobbies, demonstrating how to make your descriptions more interesting by adding details and personal preferences.
We covered weekend routines and how they differ from weekdays, including social activities and spending time with friends and family.
We also discussed challenges you might face in daily life and strategies for handling unexpected situations or changes in your schedule.
And we touched on health and wellness routines, plus the importance of good sleep habits and evening wind-down rituals.
The key takeaway is this: use simple, clear language and don't be afraid to add personal details that make your descriptions unique and memorable.
Remember that practice makes progress. Every time you describe your routine in English, you're building confidence and improving your fluency naturally.
Use time expressions like usually, sometimes, every day, and on weekends to make your description sound more natural and less robotic.
And always try to explain not just what you do, but also why you do it or how you feel about it. This adds depth to your conversations.
If you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful, please subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so you never miss new content.
And don't forget to click the like button. It really helps us reach more English learners who could benefit from our podcast.
Share this episode with your friends, classmates, or anyone you know who's learning English. Learning together is always more fun and motivating.
Leave a comment telling us about your daily routine or asking questions about anything we discussed today. We love hearing from our audience.
You can write in English, and even if you make mistakes, that's completely okay. Mistakes are how we learn and improve.
We read every single comment and often reply with encouragement, corrections, or additional tips to help you on your English learning journey.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. We hope you learned something useful and feel more confident talking about daily routines in English.
Remember to practice what we discussed today. Try describing your own routine out loud or writing it down in your notebook or phone.
Keep practicing, stay consistent, and don't get discouraged. Every small step forward is progress, and we're here to support you every step of the way.
We'll see you in the next episode where we'll explore another important English conversation topic. Until then, keep learning and having fun.
Take care, stay safe, and remember, English learning should be enjoyable, not stressful. See you next time.
Bye everyone, keep smiling and keep speaking English.